So, I'm a PhD student, right? And what do PhD students do? They do research, they finish that research, and then they write research papers about it. So, I've been doing research for the past 2 years, and my first project is about to come to an end. So, naturally, I'm gonna write a research paper about it. So, welcome to this video where I decide to wake up early in an attempt to start writing my first research paper as a graduate student. And by early, I don't mean like 4 or 5 a.m. I am physically incapable of doing that, at least for now. Historically, my track record hasn't been the best in terms of waking up early. These days I've been feeling a little unmotivated. I've been waking up at like maybe 8:30, 9, even 9:30 a.m. That kind of derails my day. It doesn't make me feel the best, you know. I wake up late, I get to the office late, I start my work late. Also, waking up early just on your own without any external motivation is kind of difficult for me, at least, because I haven't developed the habit. But now, since I have this reason that I want to write this paper and I want to set a deadline for myself, I can hopefully get in the habit of waking up early. It is my main priority, my main task for the summer, and I really want to get done with it as soon as possible. But a little hiccup is that this is also going to be my first journal paper that I write ever. So I don't know how to write a research paper exactly either. So it's going to take some time and it's going to take effort, and there's going to be a lot of figuring out and all of that stuff. But it's also going to be fun and I'm really excited about it. So today is June 12th and I am setting an arbitrary deadline for myself to be able to finish this paper by the end of this month. So in kind of like 2.5 weeks.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
I don't know if it's possible, I don't know if I can do it, but it is what it is. And by the end of the month, I will see how much I get done. Till now, what I have done is kind of completed the figure set for my paper, which is really exciting because figures are basically the main part of the paper, and then you can basically write a story around the figures. So that's the plan. Every morning I'm going to be waking up early according to my standard. I'm starting out with 7:30 in the morning right now, and I want to get it up to 7 a.m. And I do realize this is not a very motivational thing to do, to be able to wake up at 7 a.m. I realize that some people do it on a daily basis and it's not a big deal for them, but it is kind of a big deal for me. I will come here every day in the morning, do work, and then update you on the progress. Maybe not every day, whenever there is something to update on, and then by the end of the month, let's see if I get it done or not. Okay, so it's the end of the first day. Today actually went not too bad. I started my materials and methods sections and I finished 2 paragraphs and I'm happy with it. So during this video, I'm actually going to be talking a lot about different sections of a research paper and how much I've completed, what section I'm working on currently. So I think it's only fair that I talk about the basic structure of a research paper. So usually, I mean, this is not true for all of the research articles, but usually, at least in my field, we have the abstract of the paper, then we have the introduction, then we have the materials and methods section, then you can have, you know, some extra sections according to your specific research. In this case, I have the analytical model or the mathematical model section for my research. After that, you have results and discussion, and then you might have conclusion and references. Alright, this is the second day of me waking up early. I have made it to the office. I'm the first one here, so obviously I'm the best. It is around 9:20. My goal would be to reach the office by 9 a.m. So it's like a nice number to aim for. Anyway, it doesn't really matter that much. It's just a mental thing. I'll probably make some modifications to the figures now. I started writing like my material sections yesterday. I think it's better if I also put the figures in the paper. I just have the figures separately, but I think I'll put the figures in the overleaf document now. I should briefly explain what all of these sections mean. Abstract is like a 200-word paragraph explaining the basic results of the paper. Introduction is like a literature review, why this field is important, why we are doing this research, what previous work has been done, and how the work you are doing is different from all of the previous work that's been done. And then materials and methods is how you did your experiments, what materials did you use, what equipment did you use, and what techniques did you use, all of that, the technical side of things. Then the mathematical model section for my paper is just how I derived this mathematical model starting from a bunch of equations and how I solve these equations to compare it to my experimental data. And results and discussions are basically presenting your final results, final plots, all the graphs, everything, which is the part of the research that everybody is interested in, that you present. And then conclusion is you make some conclusion based on your data, based on your results. Okay, it's day 3 today. I did not get any writing done yesterday, but that's because I was working on my figures. So another thing I wanted to talk about about is how writing anything new from scratch, like a chapter, an essay, an article, a paper, can be such a daunting task when you have that cursor on your blank screen looking at you, when you have no words on the screen. It's scary because you don't have all the steps mapped out for you. You don't know how it's gonna go, you don't know what you're gonna write, you don't know how it's gonna end, when you're gonna be able to finish it. You feel this pressure of writing this perfect first draft and writing all the right words and all the sentence structures are gonna be perfect and amazing. This is where perfectionism comes in to ruin your productivity. It really stops you from making progress, which is where you have to remind yourself that first drafts are supposed to be bad. No matter what you're gonna do, no matter how good you try to write it, first drafts are definitely going to be bad, which is what I'm trying to keep in mind for this paper as well. If I let perfectionism enter into my brain, I'm just gonna be very slow and I'm just gonna overthink about all the words I write. But another option is, I know that my first draft is gonna be bad, so I can write it as fast as possible and I can get my first draft out of the way. And I know that even if I try to write it as best as possible according to my standards, there's still gonna be feedback, there's still gonna be corrections. So it's better if I get the first draft out of my way and then go back to it to edit and then make it better and better and better until it's ready. Also, editing something that you already have is way easier than writing something from scratch. Alright, so it was a Monday today. It's the start of the second week since I started writing my paper. Today was an okayish day. I made some progress. In the morning, I actually went to a cafe, met up with one of my friends and did a bit of writing there. I felt like I needed a change in my surroundings. I needed a scenery change. So that was nice and actually productive. In the afternoon, I came back to my office and did some more writing. I kind of finished the structure of my materials and methods section, and now I've actually started writing the analytical model section, which has a bunch of mathematical equations. It's taking a bit of time because I have to think about its structure and everything, but all in all, it's not too bad. I am making progress, although slowly. But tomorrow on Tuesday, I won't be able to work on the paper at all because tomorrow actually I am organizing a science summer camp for some high school students for the MechE department. So I'm gonna be busy with that the entire day. So my plan right now is, I'm kind of getting bored with my office, so I'm gonna try to work in different places, and since I'm writing, I don't have to have my system in the office. So yeah, that's the update for now. But at the same time, I do think that the end of June was a very tight deadline and I might not be able to make it. It was just an arbitrary deadline that I just set for myself. Even if I'm not able to do that, at least some good will come out of it because I will actually have worked on it for a little bit. And also my waking up early thing, which was the entire reason for me to make this video, that would also be good. Okay, so today is actually Friday of the second week since I've started writing. Today I'm actually going to California to visit a friend of mine for like 4 days. So I won't be able to work today, and I don't work on the weekend anyway. I will resume writing next week when I get back, I think on Wednesday. Okay, so I am back from my California trip. This is my second day back to work. Today is actually the last day of June, which is what I set as a deadline for myself for finishing my paper. And looking back at it, it seems hilarious to me that I set the deadline as the end of June. I am nowhere near close to completing the paper. I just severely underestimated the amount of work it goes into writing an entire paper from scratch. Since I'm the only one writing it, I'm making the figures, I'm writing the equations, I'm writing the text, I'm thinking about the structure. So it definitely takes a little more time as opposed to more collaborative papers where different people are doing different sections of the paper. So those collaborative papers tend to get written faster, but it's not all bad. I have been making some progress. As of today, I have finished 2 sections, or at least the first draft of 2 sections of my paper. First is the materials and methods section, and the second is the analytical model section. Anyway, my point was, I'm slowly figuring out how much work goes into it. I still have completed 2 of my sections. I've been waking up fairly regularly. So all in all, this was still a success. So I am postponing the deadline to finish my paper by the end of July this time. And hopefully, I will have my first draft by then, by the end of July. So July is long gone. Today is actually August 10th, and August 9th, which was yesterday, was when I actually finished the first draft of my paper. Yep, it's finally done. Obviously, there's so much more work that goes into writing a paper that I hadn't thought about before. somewhere along the line, I also had to reanalyze my entire data set to be able to remake a plot so that we could explain it better in the paper. Obviously, that took a bit of time. But yeah, the first draft is done now. I sent it off to my advisor and now we wait for comments and revisions. Overall, even if I couldn't make my arbitrarily set deadlines, this was still a success and I'm pretty happy about it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.